last week we did a little timbali rhythm. Oh no, the cowbell rhythm. There's a cowbell rhythm. That's right. And this is just another little cowbell rhythm. So it's a little straightforward little rhythm. I'll start clapping. Well, I'm going to start getting your feet moving first. So get your feet going left, right, or the other way around. And after 4, I'm going to start clapping at rhythm, and please join in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Good. Right, that's warmed us up. Not that we need particularly warming up, but let's just get that off the screen. And right, let's move over to our instruments now. And as always, I'm going to play pick some notes. The note's going to be concert E. And then, depending on whatever instrument you're playing, warm the instrument up, and either do long tones if you're on a wind instrument, or just pluck rhythmically if you're a plucking instrument, or press those keys on that keyboard. The note is concert E, and usually I expect you're listening closely to the note that you're playing to get the nice sound, nice consistent tone. But if you always do that habitually, how about trying to feel the note? How about that? So when you're playing the note, actually feel what the vibrations are like in your fingertips. And if the instrument's touching your body, feel the vibrations of the instrument itself as well. So use a different sense when playing your warm-up note. Here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. Okay, good. Okay, now we're going to move on to the chromatic scale. So as we do every week, so we're going to start on concert E and play the chromatic scale all the way up to an octave E. So just the 12 semitones. Not too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, descending. So from that last note, descending. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 2, 3, 4. One more time, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. And we're now going to go all the way up and all the way down again. So starting on the lower note, all the way to the top, straight down again without repeating the top note. 1, 2, 3, 4. And down. Let's do that again one more time. A little bit quicker as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, everybody, that's the chromatic scale. So we're going to move on now to our rhythmic phrases. So I'm going to put onto the screen the sheet that you'd have been sent. There we go. And just a little bit different today. These are 2-bar phrases. So we're going to do them in pairs of bars. So there's 4 of them still, but two-bar phrases. And each bar, in the second bar, I've put in a similar rhythm, but slightly moved it in time from the first one. You'll get the idea. They're not overly complicated. But if in doubt, just listen and join in by ear. That's always the best way anyway. So the other thing is I've introduced intervals. We did that last week. We had the 4th. Today's interval is the 5th. And so each note is going to, or rather each phrase is going to have a jump of a 5th in it. You can see the note going up. And the easiest way to recognize a 5th, I think most of you might know this, is the beginning of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So when the tune jumps up, twinkle, twinkle, that's a jump of a 5th. So if you hear that interval, that's a way of recognizing it. So the major 5th, a perfect 5th rather. Here we go. So I think I'll put the metronome on for this, just to keep me in time, let alone you. So here we go. Just going to do those first 2 bars. And as I say, join in when you're ready. Starting on the concert E. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Good. Okay, well that's the first pair. Let's move on to the second pair. So that's on the sheet. It's shown as bars 3 and 4 in very small print. So I'm going to do bars 3 and 4 and looping it. So here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, good. Right, let's move on to the next line. And here we've got a two-bar phrase, all quavers in this particular pair of bars. And it does say at the top that the quavers are swung, which means rather than da 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 da. So they've got that sort of swing rhythm to them. So we're doing bars 5 and 6. The first two on the second line after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Okay, moving on to the fourth pair of bars. So the second pair on the second line. Slightly different here. We've got two similar sounding phrases in each of the two bars, but rhythmically, clearly you can just look at it and see that they're different. Triplet crotchets in the first bar, and swung quavers in the second. So okay, let's go for the last pair. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. I need to resolve that. Good. Right, we've got two lines of phrases there. Although they are independent rhythmic ideas, we're now going to string them all together and play those 8 bars and in a loop as well. So we're just going to play around the 8 bars. In other words, just through the bars that we've just been playing. Just remembering they're swung quavers. And so after 4, starting with bar number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Last time through. And resolve on the concert E. Otherwise you'll feel a bit left hanging in the air. Okay, good. There's some little rhythmic phrases there for you to do with what you like, even if only to bring them out in your next solo. Let's move on now. Now, today's key, which I haven't mentioned yet, I just realised, is the hijaz scale, if that's what it's called. Nothing to do with jazz. It's just got the word jazz in it. It's the hijaz scale. It's a Middle Eastern scale. It's used all across Eastern Europe. the Far East, Middle East, and Israel, and so on. And it's used in all sorts of folk music and more modern music, of course, as well. And there are varieties of hijaz scales. So I'm not an authority on this. And if you looked it up, you might see a variation on this. I'm sure it changes from one country to the next, let alone. So anyway, this is a simplistic way of looking at it, perhaps. And to give you a little heads up, we're doing this scale in E. So it's E to E. Just looking at the concert screen on the screen here, it's from E to E, and there's only one sharp, and that's the G sharp. Now, if you know your minor scales, you'll know that A minor is also all natural notes apart from a G sharp. So that tells us that this is actually a scale based on A harmonic minor. And in fact, it's simply the fifth mode of A harmonic minor. So if you go from A, B, C, D, E up to the fifth of A, and then start playing A harmonic minor, you are playing this scale. So just to summarize all that, the E hijaz scale is the fifth mode of A harmonic minor. Right, but the notes are in front of you, so you can leave that aside, a little bit of theory, and just play those notes. So I'm just going to play bar 9. The symbol above where it says hijaz scale means play regular quavers, so we're not swinging them anymore. So let's go to a slower tempo, and we're going to just play that first bar. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Very exotic sounding. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go on to the next bar and do the descending version. After 4, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, descending, 4. 2, 3, descending, 4, and. Good. Okay, let's practice them going up and down. Not quite as written, because I just want you to get to the top and come straight down again when you reach that top note. So don't repeat the top note. After 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Down. 2, 3, 4. Down. Last time, 2, 3, 4. Down. As you can tell, it's a very, it does sound like an Eastern scale, doesn't it? And it is used to get that effect. Even in films, if they just want to move the scene from London to the Middle East or something, they'll just play a bit of music based on that scale, and suddenly you know where you are. There is a variation on that, and that's when the last but one note is actually sharpened before finishing the scale, and we get that sort of thing happening in Western scales as well. So we'll come on to that in a sec. Next to it, I've just shown the dominant 7th arpeggio. That's of an E7 or concert E7 chord, meaning that scale can be played over that chord if you were improvising and wanted to make your E7 sound a bit more exotic. You can use the E hijaz scale. Right, let's move on to the bit below where it says which film was this featured in. You'll recognise this, some of you. Now, this is the scale where I've just modified it slightly for that last but one note to be sharpened. So just read it as shown, and it's almost the same until right at the last but one note. The high note is is sharper than it was in the previous scale. So here we go. We're going to play that a whole line starting on bar 13. Which film was this tune featured in? I'm going to speed it up a bit as well. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually probably being featured in all sorts of films, but somebody has sent me an answer, and or is it just a general comment? Let's have a look. If I can get the chat button to open. Pulp Fiction. Thank you, Chris. Yes, that's right. So it's the Dick Dale and the Deltones did a surf rock version of Mizzaloo, that tune that you all know and recognise. And that's the basis of that tune, that hijaz scale with a sharpened seventh. Let's move on to the tune at the bottom there. Ever been to a bar mitzvah? That's a rhetorical question. You don't have to tell me. And here's a tune you'll recognise as well, based around the hijaz scale. I'm just going to speed it up. 1, 2. If you can read that, well, you'll recognise it in a minute anyway. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Anybody recognise that? We do recognise it. Anyone know the name? Sometimes hard to pin down the name. You can unmute yourself and shout down the microphone if you want. Hava Nagila. Yes. Hava Nagila. Yes. It's a staple of all sorts of events, and it's a very old folk tune apparently from the Ukraine, which got modified and passed around the cultures and the countries. And Hava Nagila has got a sort of more of a political background, actual tune itself, which we won't go into. But if you're interested, look up Hava Nagila on Wikipedia, and you'll find why it was written earlier in the 20th century. So very interesting. Okay, good. Right. Well, that's the little look around the hijaz scale, and we're going to just finish off now with some strumming. And we will, let me just put the chords on the screen. Wow, there's a mass of chords there. So just concentrate on your own group of chords. Concert B flat and E flat there. I'm going to strum through those chords, 2 bars on each chord. And if you are playing the chords, right at the end, there's like at the top one, there's F, E7. That's 1 bar each. I'm not showing it very musically scientifically, but there's 2 bars in every chord except the last 2, and that's a bar, with just 1 bar, so it's still only 8 bars in total. Now you can play your chord tones, you can play arpeggios over this, or you can play the chords, of course, or interestingly you can use the hijaz scale to improvise, and it will make you sound like you're from somewhere else. Just out of interest, if you have got the right instrument for this, you can just hit a low note on your instrument, drone on in the background, or if you've got a keyboard, just put a bit of sellotape on the low E and hold it down, and then play the hijaz scale over the top. Get some lovely sounds. So yeah, you can use the hijaz scale to improvise as well. Bass players, you can use a root and fifth, or you can give it a sort of a tango rhythm and follow the chord. So as I say, 2 bars of each chord, and this will be the final thing we do today. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next chord. Next line. F and D. And start at the top. Next chord. Second chord. Next line. Two, three, four. Next line. Round again, and coming up to finish. There we go. Okay, that got me singing Sway, Dean Martin. Very similar chords. I don't know if anyone started playing Sway in their heads. Okay, everybody, that's it for today. I hope you're all nice and warmed up and ready to go out and stick an umbrella up and enjoy the rest of the day. And good to see so many of you again. Yeah, we're up to about 30, so that's great. Right, you can unmute yourself and say goodbye. We'll be back next week, of course.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave.
Many thanks. Many thanks.